My name is LaShaun Shelby, and I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer in December 2023 after finding a lump in my breast. Knowing my history of 2 aunts previously diagnosed with breast cancer and my own father's diagnosis with cancer, I knew to be alert, and I began doing my monthly exams of my breasts when I was in college. And so I became familiar with what was normal with my breasts. And when I found the lump, I went to my doctor. I didn't initially tell her about the lump. I just had her to perform an exam on her own to see if she could discover the lump, and she didn't. I had to point out the lump to her, and she was like, it probably isn't anything, but knowing my history, I advocated for myself to be examined further with the mammogram, even with my age and being under 40 years old and not being of the screening age. And after going through the mammogram, the ultrasound, and then going through the biopsy, and then finally receiving a phone call, my journey began. I had 6 months of chemotherapy, followed through with 2 surgeries and 5 weeks of radiation treatment. And it was one of the hardest experiences in my life, but it was also a journey of faith. It was scary. It was very scary, and I really had to learn to trust in God through every CT scan, every MRI, and through that, getting help from family, my parents, other people who've gone through the journey, and even the nurses and the doctors, and seeing other people during the treatment. That helped me to become stronger through my faith. When I learned to trust in Him, that's when it became easier. And I literally had to make a choice every day: faith or fear, faith or fear. But when I put my faith in God, He will make a way. Because with the cancer diagnosis, you really have to face your own mortality, and that is scary. That is very scary. I'm thankful that God saw me through to ring the bell for my chemotherapy treatment on June 13, 2024, and also to ring the bell on October 1st when I finished my last day of radiation, which also concluded all of my active treatment. So I encourage you to take some action. Know your risk. So that means knowing what your family history is. Get screened based on your risk level. So you may not be the age of 40, but if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, you may need to be screened at least 10 years before the diagnosis of your family member. And also know you're normal. That means doing your self-examination monthly. For any women out there who are scared to go get the exam, or if you're scared to do your own self-exam, don't be afraid of what you may find. And for anybody who has received a diagnosis, the battle is not yours. You don't have to fight that battle. The only thing you need to do is to put your trust in God and allow Him to fight the battle. That is what helped me get through. I didn't have to fight. All I needed to do was have faith and put my trust in Him, and He did all the work for me. And that's why I'm here today.